Caner Universe, it's Caner Tip Tuesday. And listen, those of you that are celebrating Christmas and the holidays, I hope you're really enjoying it. And welcome to those of you who are here for the first time. A lot of newcomers to the cane culture. If you like the content, do this before you forget. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon so that you don't miss any future content. And then you have the free resources, the most important one being the no-cost cane clarity call. Text the letter CCC to the number on the screen in less than 24 hours. We will be on a call with you, if you're international, on a Zoom call to answer all your questions. So we actually schedule it to answer all your questions, find out what's important to you, most importantly, how to make the training happen. That's what we're going to talk about here today. And you have some free resources in the way of Facebook groups that are open to the public. Look at the description, request entry, they'll let you write in. The topic for this is a two-part: how to master the cane. Now, when I say master, how to really become proficient. And some of you will want to get to the level of mastery. You want to take it as far as you want to go. So I'm going to show you step by step today how to do that. So it's a two-part. Today, what to do, looking at the ACSD core curriculum, the content, give you an overview of the content for each one of those. And then next week, we will take a look at ACSD's specialty curriculum. Now, we want to get this done between now and the holidays and the new year, so that way the best way to do it, schedule that call, but at least you have a reference to go with, and it'll be a lot smoother. But you will have, this is part of having a plan to really make it happen in 2024. Not just watching video, YouTube every week, which we appreciate, but nothing gets done unless you take action. So I'm going to go step by step here. We'll have this image up for you. So just if you're in our groups and our the public groups, you'll see the ACSD core curriculum. What are we talking about? This is when you first come to ACSD. First of all, before we talk about anything, why training? Why are we even talking about training? ACSD is primarily a training company, secondary, in the cane sales, but we are primarily a training company because canes are cool. I always say. And there are companies that just sell canes, and we always reference our friends over at Cane Masters. They're like a sister company to us. They make all our wooden canes. Canes are great. They're cool. We introduced a lot of these, right? Hybrids, and we make our own models for our courses. But you are who you are with a cane based on your training, and you're going to do with a cane, especially under duress and the health benefits and all these things. All the benefits of caning are going to come based on your training, and that's what we focus on, because without that, you got nothing. You got a cane. The cane in and of itself, just laying there, it's nothing. So, unless you're just a collector. But where you first start, the ACSD core is the step-by-step on how to attain everywhere. It's a 4-level system going from leader, advanced, master, and senior master. And again, the graphic online, better than this printed one in terms of the colors and what you can see. But I'll go ahead and read right off of here and do a little explaining there. So this is whether you want to go, if you have an interest in self-protection, and that's what the majority are still coming for. This is the route you want to go. If you have an interest in better movement, but self-protection, this is the core curriculum. The only time that this is not going to apply is if you're interested in a specialty course, and that would be something like American cane boxing, SOBREVIVENCIAL, which is standalone, and I'll explain, or you're just coming to cane flow for the purpose of brain training, better movement, the health. You may not need to go core curriculum. But if you have an interest in self-protection, the core is where you want to go, okay? And the first one is going to be at the level of leader. That is your first step. That is the alphabet. And the way you're going to do that, so step number 1 is the Cane at Home 6-week challenge. That is the best way to learn the foundation of the cane. That's what are you going to learn? It's a 6-week challenge, right? So some of the things you want to know. No expiration date on our courses. So once you plug in life gets in the way in the midst of your course, you can come back next year. You actually cannot enroll twice in our courses or pay for the same course twice. There's no need in doing that because ACSD policy is to support you all the way through the course. We can deliver it anywhere in the world online. Doesn't matter if you're in a different time zone. We have a way of getting those recordings to you. We have a way of having our coaches with the trained eyes on you, where you're submitting your work. They're giving you the necessary and corrective feedback that you're going to need. So those are some of the things that you're getting. So it's online, live or self-paced, recorded, professional feedback from ACSD certified coaches, no expiration date on completion. You have a community, a private community to give you support all the way throughout. I always say I'm not going to overhype it, and then I follow that up with saying it's the greatest caner community in the world. You'll realize why. It's because of the quality of the individuals that we tend to attract. What a blessing. Thank the Lord for that. And certification included upon completion, right? So week number 6, class number 2. Hey, here's your certification with your rank bands. We ship them to you wherever you are. And what we recommend these days for each one of these levels is that when you come in, you do it congruently with the empty hand course, the way it was originally put together. That's the way I put it together 30 years ago. So when you would come to the headquarters and you would learn any application with this cane, you set that down and you also do it empty hand. Now, listen, you cannot, if you have a concern for self-protection, you can't rely 1,000% on just any tool. You can't be who you are in self-protection, whether you have your cane. What if you don't have your cane? What if you drop your cane? Right? We've had this situation happen. Same thing with a firearm, same thing with any tool. You are the tool. You are the tool. And the beauty of this and the way ACSD is set up is that anything that you do with this cane, you do the exact same thing empty-handed. It carries over to whatever you have. So whether it's a cane, whether it's empty hand, whether it's a knife, whatever it is, you'll be able to do it, but it needs to be revealed to you, and it doesn't work the other way. Meaning, that's why we don't allow you just to enroll in the empty hand. Right? You say, well, I have some cane skills, but I want to learn ACSD empty. No, it's very specific. The cane teaches the empty hand and not the other way around. So your first step is going to be that Cane at Home 6-week challenge. That's where you're going to have a set of trained eyes giving you the support, the feedback, the accountability, the correctives that you're going to need to get this training done. Don't try to do it any other way. Don't invest in DVDs. Don't invest in CSDU, nothing like that. Just go straight to the Cane at Home 6-week challenge. See, I'm making this super easy for you to do. That's your first experience. If you absolutely love it, and you'll know that by week number 3, if you love the way, you love the system, you love the way that you're being treated and everything else, once you graduate there, or even by week number 3, we can start looking at level number 2. That's your second step, and that is advanced. So the purpose of level 1 at Leader is to make you effective in the first 2.5 hours of training, right? So 2 times a week for 30 minutes, very focused, very direct, just what you need to make you effective in the first 2.5 hours of training, to where you can't just walk out with this tool out there and people randomly come and put their hands on you, because you're a force to be reckoned with. You know exactly what you're doing with this. You know the law, you have the verbal skills, you're very rounded out. So you can handle those situations. If you move on to advanced, right, you're kind of going from a very good toolbox of application to Home Depot, right, in advanced. Advanced is going to introduce some concepts with the cane that you haven't seen before. So in the Leader level, your footwork is going forward and back, side to side. Here now with advanced, there's a circular footwork pattern, and footwork, I always say, gets you in and out of trouble. You're also going to be, you're going to learn 50% of the ACSD alphabet in the way of forms. Now, these aren't traditional martial art forms that are long. They're designed to teach very specific tactical principles and ingrain them in the nerve system, and it's where you get introduced to the dance in ACSD. So ACSD is put together in such a way that when you're doing the movements and you're doing the quote-unquote dance or the flow, to the person who's untrained, they look at it and say, well, that guy's just dancing with the cane. There's no practice. In other words, they shouldn't be looking at you going, that guy is dangerous with the cane, right? Now, I want you to stop and think about today's society and the advantage of that. Congruently with that, you're going to see this all throughout in the graphics as you're going through. By the way, this would be green, black, red, and I'll talk about Senior Master, but here, each one of these, you do them congruently with the empty hand. That's the best way. Don't be the caner that comes in and sets it on. If you just decide from the onset you just want to learn the cane, that's fine. Go that route. But if you want to learn true blue ACSD, the full strength ACSD, you can't compare an individual, a caner that's coming in today learning the cane in an empty hand versus somebody who even went through just cane and they're not exposed to this. And this is the only way you can learn it, because I'm the guy who put it together. You're going to learn it directly from the source, and there's the advantage of that, obviously. So that's what you're going to do. And then step number 3 in the curriculum, by the way, in terms of timeline, 6 weeks, a year. Give yourself a year in advance. It can take you longer, it might take you less, but give yourself about a year, and then another year after that for master level. And so then you have the curriculum there. At the master level, you're going to complete the 6-form exercise. You got the full alphabet. You have double cane handling. So ACSD caning is brain training. There you're going to go into double canes, how to really be ambidextrous, but take your brain training to another level where you're doing one thing with a cane with one hand and something totally different with another in a different tempo as well. That gives you true blue dominion over it. You also have to be really knowledgeable as to how to do things together. You're going to be putting together your own exercise, your own flow that you're going to be doing this, and you're going to have the ability to create. So you're not just going to be an imitator of movement. You're going to be a creator. Now you have the key. Now you know how to unlock doors. You're taking it to a completely another level, and congruent with that, you would do the empty hand. Now, senior master level, this black and red over here, this is at this point you got to learn. You can't learn that in the online. We don't have it that way. You learn that with me. It's a combination of online and immersion training, in-person training, and that's going to be directly with me. And part of it is going to be your contributions. Typically, it's coaches or somebody who's gone out there and shared the art with others. Okay, so that takes you about another year or so to go ahead and do that. And there's another form that you learn there with the minis all along. You're learning the empty hand as well, and you have dominion. You really have mastery over what comes next. And if you don't understand what comes next in the ACSD lexicon, don't worry about that. But you know the story forward, backwards, in and out. You really have this down. So the plan, in summary, is to start with the Cane at Home 6-week challenge. Upon that graduation, then you can decide if you're going, you're moving on to advanced. There's a way of learning it with Cane Self-Defense University. That's our online training portal. That is more of independent study. It's received a tremendous upgrade because now you have the videos there that the caners that are working through the advanced and cane tribe. You have the same videos, but it's a slower program because it's only 2 times per month that you get to submit work. We can go, if you have an interest in that, we'll go over the details of it. But what you need to know, CSDU is more independent study, whereas if you do it through Cane Tribe, you're going to do it with an instructor. It's just like showing up to class. It's got the accountability, which is crucial. And the advanced has an immersion option to it, where you have a voucher to come down here to Miami. Immersion is simply, just read the reviews. This is the finest in-person a caner experience, training experience. We hold it 2 times a year. We do it in the winter. It's always in February. In the fall, it's always in September. And then Masters already does include that immersion option. That is ACSD Core, step by step. Step number 1, Cane at Home 6-week challenge. Step number 2, move on to advanced. You want to keep moving. Then you move on to Masters, and it can all be done, carried out online with that kind of support that we're known for. It's a curriculum and a system that we have refined over time. Next week, what we'll do is we'll look at how to navigate specialty curriculums like American cane boxing. How does that tie into the core? Because you really don't have to go this route for some of these. Sobrevivencia is just stand alone, and I'll go ahead and answer those questions. But go ahead and feel free to answer questions on this. This begins the process. This is actually functional. Now you know. Most important, text CCC to the number on the screen. set up your Cane Clarity Call. You do that now. Don't wait until the new year. A lot of you want to, I'll set it up and do it in the new year. Well, that's when everybody else is doing it, and that's where the rush is. You can do that. Give us a call at the 800 number, 800-289-8188. I'm Joe Robaina with American Cane Self-Defense, giving you here the ACSD core and the step-by-step. No excuses. You can do it.